everyone. Mr. Devil here, Kenny Danico, 3-time Stanley Cup champion of the New Jersey Devils. And you're listening to the Uncle Pucker's New Jersey Devils podcast. Let's go, Devils!
I can't do this deja vu shit.
Can't do what now?
This deja vu shit. This is take 2. You're going to ask me the same questions you just asked me.
No, I don't care about how many times you get drunk a year.
Right,
but
good.
you can tell the audience if you want to.
I don't really care about that anymore. That's you missed those 2
So
minutes.
he's sober now.
Praise
the Lord.
I got stuck at work a little bit late last night, so I usually it should have been done like around 10, but since I took off for today to go to my mother-in-law's repass and everything, I had some shit I had to get done. But I forgot that I had to stay a little late. So like my normal routine is like 20 minutes, a half hour before I leave, I'll eat a couple of gummies. And by the time I get home and showered and sit down on the couch, it starts to kick in a little bit and I can enjoy. But I ate them. And then I realized, fuck, I got to work another 2 hours. And it's like an hour into it. I was like, oh boy, this is going to really take longer than it should just because I can't function properly. So I'm feeling.
I think it's not a kitchen or anything, though.
No. Good thing it wasn't anything that can burn me, cut me, or anything like that. So
it's good planning.
Tony, how are you?
Doing good, man. How you guys doing?
Well, are you upset still about Ozzy and Hulk?
Yeah, dude. I have to admit, man, a couple of them, the Lemmy thing kind of hit me. I saw him play, I think 3 months before he passed away. The Dio thing, that really sucked. And this one ranks up there, I mean, I think it's amazing how he got to play that last show, which almost seems like a fucking movie, like how it was set up.
Wait. Ronnie James Dio died?
Yeah, you didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, many years ago. I love Dio. I
Did they put him in like a child-sized coffin when he died?
I refuse to take shots at Ronnie James Dio. I actually saw a meme. I thought of and this was just ironically lines up to this. I saw a meme yesterday. I thought of you and Bobby. I had a picture of Bono, and it said, "The world is sad to find out that Bono's still alive." I was going to put that in the chat yesterday.
It's not bad.
But yeah, dude. I have actually gotten to, when I worked for the metal magazines back in the day, I've gotten to meet Ozzy, I've gotten to meet Dio, and I've gotten to meet Lemmy. They were all like really, Ozzy was what you would expect. But I don't know, Bobby, I know you're a metal guy, man. It kind of hits you, doesn't it? Childhood's dying.
This one hurts. This is a legend in it. You know what I mean? And I wasn't the biggest fan as far as I have all the albums, stuff like that. But adjacent, of course, it's Ozzy Osbourne. He's great. But it is, yeah, it does. It just hurts a little bit. It's weird, right? How some hurt more than the others. But yeah, like you said, man, to pull off that concert just a couple weeks ago. I mean, that last song, Mama, I'm Coming Home. Every time I listen to that, I always think about someone passing. And then he passes. I mean, if anyone deserves a send-off like that, it was him. I mean, he's...
You know who wrote that song for him? That Mama, I'm Coming Home was written by Lemmy.
Really?
Motorhead. Yeah.
Nice. Yes, that's tough. I mean, Hulk Hogan, that was childhood kind of thing. I'm not into the wrestling scene, but still, it's just another big name, big personality. I'm more upset that Thunder Lips is gone,
They were the same person, Bob.
At least South Park cheered us all up this week.
The day that Hogan died, I was telling Tony this before. Like, I got home and I was talking to my wife, and I was like, "Does it feel like Hulk Hogan died and nobody cares?" And she starts laughing. She's like, "Yeah, it kind of feels like nobody cares."
Yeah,
just some fucking blown up steroid jerk off.
But he was
racist
jerk. They go in threes, right? I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
And after Ozzy and Hulk, Derek texts me and he's like, here it is in threes again. I'm like, who's the third? Has it happened yet? And then he reminded me it was, from earlier, which, by the way, did you know how he died?
Theo Huxtable?
Yeah. I mean,
with his daughter.
Dude, that's awful. I mean,
That
on one hand, I was like, I'm kind of glad it wasn't just another healthy 54-year-old who just died, because you're always like, shit, I'm almost 54 kind of thing. But it doesn't make it any less tragic. I'm just saying, it's like, I didn't, I swim all the time. It's scary.
That's the thing, that like Hogan and Ozzy, it's like, it was pretty much time, right? You're not shocked that they died. You're upset, but you're not shocked. Like, this was a 54-year-old dude that was like just starting some new podcast that he was trying to get off the ground. He was vacationing with his daughter.
Right.
You know, it was bad enough he had to spend 12 years of his life with Bill Cosby. Like, the dude's been through enough. And now, yeah. So,
And at this age, you know, Chris, you don't deal with this because you're pretty much anti-social media, which you're actually a smart man for.
it
But
all
Bobby
starts because
knows.
I'm antisocial in general.
Yeah, you go on Facebook, dude, and it's just dead people. It's just fucking who died today, who died today. You know, it's like it's crazy, man.
Is when you really don't even know that one of your, you know, like Facebook friends is dead, and like their birthday comes up, and you're also like, oh, happy birthday, hope to see you soon. It's like, oh shit, that person died 5 years ago.
Hope you're doing
It's
great.
really kind of
Right.
messed up. Yeah,
I have a story to share.
love stories.
So I had a business here, and I started using this guy for my pest control, an exterminator. I'm not going to mention his name. And he came in out of nowhere, and him and I got along. He was a, you know, devout, born again. I mean, this guy was Bible thumping. So, of course, me being the asshole that I am, of course, I would argue with him constantly about theology and God and everything like that. But I liked him, you know, it was fun. And he took it, you know, he kept, you know, praying for my soul and all that stuff.
Too late.
So he had a son about, I guess his son back then, this had to have been probably about 20 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever. But his son got really sick with cancer, and he was in and out of hospitals, and it was not going well. So I get a text from him one day, and it just says, and I believe his son's name was Chris. So I just get a text saying, Chris is on his way home. And I write back, that's fantastic news. I'm so happy that he's. And then he texts back, home to heaven. And I'm like, no.
Chris is like, I hope he's not late. He goes, no, he's late.
I'm like, no. You lead with that. You don't
Oh,
say he's
God.
coming home. You know, the furthest thing from my mind was that he's being called back home
Sure.
to heaven. And yeah, so that was a text. I was like, oh shit, I can't get that back, can I? No.
Oh my.
Is he still doing the pest control?
I think so, yeah. I think he does. And it's funny because he actually looks like a rat. Like, he has like a weird twitch on his nose, and he fucking like he actually, it's like, wow, man, you actually look like a fucking things you go to kill. It's
God damn, I
crazy.
hope he doesn't listen to this show.
He
He's
does,
having
he
a
does.
really bad Sunday morning.
Well, that's a good endorsement, right? For pest control. Yeah.
I think so,
Smart.
right.
So, yeah.
Just put a
I don't
picture
want a
of
guy
himself
showing
on
up
the
in a
van.
3-piece suit telling me how to, you know, get termites out of my
Ah.
house, right? Like,
It's a good point. Like, those guys from Terminex are way well too dressed to be
Yeah.
getting up and
loosen
getting
up.
critters out of crawl spaces.
Yeah. Can't
But
believe
as
it.
I was saying earlier, at least we had South Park to cheer us up this week because that was
Oh my
a great
God.
episode.
Those guys, how they continue to basically do whatever they want is just amazing.
Shit.
There's no topic they can't make fun of. It's incredible.
And they just, I mean, they fucking nailed it. And it was just the PSA at the end might have been the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, they just got it so fucking perfect, right? Because you know he probably looks exactly like that.
I don't
naked.
know how you
Big
get away with
arch face and the pale ass fat body. In the end,
I don't know how you get away with it.
as a teeny tiny.
My wife asked me that, Bobby, because here you can't, like, you know, these countries over here, if you say that kind of shit, you might be going to the fucking
crazy.
you know,
Well, yeah,
loose,
well, it's
you know?
kind of getting there now, Tone. Here, I mean,
I imagine it's going to be a very divisive episode with different sides of the fence on that. And I'd be curious if like people that were like diehard South Park fans, and if you are, then you know everything is open season. There's nothing they don't make fun of, including you and everything you've ever done. And I wonder how many people would now be like, "That's it."
I've had a few, Bobby.
I'm not watching it.
I know a couple guys who love the show, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, I don't watch it anymore." I'm like, "Did you see that episode?" Well, I saw that one. Now,
Yeah.
now they don't watch it anymore. You know,
you know, that's the hypocritical part about it, right? Because if you know, it's just you can't laugh. You are so devoted to this fucking man that you can't laugh at him, that you just can't poke a fucking joke at him. He's so thin-skinned and such a fucking, you know, weak person in general that he can't handle any kind of criticism. Because I know that if somebody put that much work into making fun of me, I would be laughing my ass off at this shit. And I just think
I'm still
like
working on
normal people kind of would act like that. Like, but like he is so thin-skinned, and it's this Epstein thing. Like, we can talk a little bit about that if you guys want to before we get into hockey, but this is fucking insane. This whole thing is insane to the highest degree. And I'm every day that something else is coming out, and I'm just sitting here going, who's falling for this shit still? Like, there seriously can't be too many people. Like, even his most devout have to be like, yeah, something's fucked up here.
My
He's
question
hiding something.
is if this comes out ever, how could you even trust it now? It's not scrubbed and just fucking. You can't believe anything anymore. You know, that's
Did
the
you
problem.
see Did you see the tweet that Dan Bongino put out yesterday? The assistant FBI director. And it kind of goes a little bit to what you were saying, Tone, like, who's going to believe it? Let me just pull this up real quick.
I'm sure some will, but we know who will believe it. You know, it's unfucking believable. Did they say what? South Park's irrelevant, by the way?
Yeah.
What? How much money did they just get? Because I'll take that.
1.5 billion.
Yeah. God, what do you do with that money?
All right, so listen to this. This is kind of weird. So Dan Bongino posted this. He said, during my tenure here as the deputy director of the FBI, I have repeatedly relayed to you that things are happening that might not be immediately visible, but they are happening. The director and I are committed to stamping out public corruption and the political weaponization of both law enforcement and intelligence operations. It is a priority for us, but what I have learned in the course of our properly predicated and necessary investigations into these aforementioned matters has shocked me down to my core. We cannot run a republic like this. I'll never be the same after learning what I've learned. We are going to conduct these righteous and proper investigations by the book and in accordance with the law. We are going to get the answers we all deserve, in all caps. As with any investigation, I cannot predict where it will land, but I can promise you an honest and dignified effort at truth, not my truth or your truth, but the truth. God bless America and all those that defend her. Respectfully, Dan. This guy got this job. Like, this is the other crazy thing. Like, he put all these people in positions of power that were campaigning and stuff on releasing these files. How stupid are you that you knew, like, you were all over these things and yet you put these people in charge? But Dan Bongino is basically saying, what I've learned in this thing is shocking me to the core, and everyone is going to find out about it. So because of that, Tone, I don't know. I think there might be some people that really do in this administration that really do give a shit about the truth and these Epstein files, and maybe they will come out. So I don't know, but just like the quick backflip to, it's a big hoax and Obama did it. So Obama, before you were president, made these files on the off chance that your buddy was going to be arrested when you became president. And plus now they're saying that he tried to overthrow an election that was never even, nobody was fighting about this election. This election was won fair and square by Donald Trump, but they did all this and then they sat on it during Biden's administration, and they just hoped that if he got reelected again, they would release the stuff that they put in it's fucking mind-boggling.
I mean, it's so crazy because, and again, I'm actually not a political person. Like, I'm not really, I just know like how fucked up it is. And like you said, Chris, like, I think there is people that, even for me, like, you want to know, like, why wouldn't you want to know? Especially when this was all stuff. How many years did we hear this is going to come out? But now we're throwing out the MLK stuff and anything now. The secret breadcrumb recipe. You're getting everything now except for this. And this is just, it just amazes me.
That recipe.
I gotta tell you, the political side of all this basically means nothing to me as well. I don't partner with any particular news outlet, and I don't listen to the way they spin whatever they spin. I take all of my reactions are from what the actual person says. And there's plenty of clips and documents and of what people say. So when things just don't look right and they don't make sense, they don't fucking make sense. When Pam Bondi say, I got the list, we're looking at it, boom. And then there's no list. It's like, okay, I don't need to watch Fox or CNN or whichever one does whichever to know there's some bullshit going on right there. Like, that does not happen in the real world. So it's terribly confusing and quite frankly annoying. And since we're already talking about divisiveness, I have another topic to bring up before we talk about our 7 minutes of hockey.
Okay, but real quick, and we'll put a quick button on this. Was put a little pin in it. The fucking clip that came out of the deposition that Epstein did years ago when he was asked, if him and Donald Trump ever basically partied with girls under the age of 18, and this motherfucker pled the 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment.
Yeah,
Like,
he had to plead all
5th.
3 of them.
He pled 3 of them. I don't even know what the other 2 are for.
I have
but
no
he
idea.
fucking
Gotta
pled
be
them.
serious though.
He was prepared for that to do
Right.
all 3 because I don't know what they are either. Yeah,
Holy
that's
shit!
very
Like,
funny.
yeah,
Wacky
that's
world.
pretty telling.
And you know what's cool? Like we usually, or at least historically, we didn't talk about these type of topics in here. But you know what? We're finding the humor in it too. And this is again one of those things. Like if you can't look at this and laugh and see how ridiculous a lot of it is, then first of all, you probably wouldn't be listening to us anyway because we're quite frankly ridiculous.
And Bobby, you're right, because you know what? It's people don't want you to speak about it when it doesn't fit their agenda.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's when they don't want you to speak about it. It's funny because I listened to a certain show. Hey, what's up, Tim? I listened to a show the other day that usually is always on that agenda just to see what they were going to say. And they started leaving. Now they're not talking about certain things anymore because whatever fits someone's plan.
Yeah,
is
that's
okay
what's
to talk
annoying.
about,
Right.
Yep. And speaking to someone who is probably on the list, what's up, Tim?
Is this a walking meeting
Can
for
Tim
Tim?
hear us?
I don't know. Well, all my outdoor seating is like soaking wet, so I can't sit anywhere. So yeah,
Looks very
let's
nice
take a little
outside.
tour.
Well, welcome,
So-
Tim. We're 16 minutes in. We haven't mentioned a word of hockey, and we're not doing it for another 10. So
We're talking about Chris and how he has to escape the country because he's about to get busted.
we're gonna have to have that conversation on the other side. I don't know what
That was
this
supposed to be not on the.
And that's not supposed to be live, Tim. We have to
No.
talk about
Oh.
that on the DL.
Oh
So
shit, we're live. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we're live. So Bobby has something he has to bring up. So go ahead, Bob.
Again, we're kind of on this theme of divisiveness.
Tim, stay still.
and-
You're getting me dizzy.
Yeah, bud, knock it off. Nice tour. And I just got to say, like,
Nice.
people are just so ridiculous. So there's a new Superman movie out. If anyone doesn't know, right?
Of course, everybody
And
knows.
this shit. It's like literally
know.
that's not my Superman type shit. Like there are arguments online about this, about like the story and what it is. Like it's a comic book story, and it is so divisive. It's ridiculous. And I sit here. Listen, I'm biased, right? I'm gonna like any Superman movie that comes out for the most part.
Yeah,
Maybe
you're a
the
big
second or third
Superman.
time. Maybe the second or third time that's got a lot of holes. I mean, Superman 4, Quest for Peace. Like, let's just get rid of that fucking thing right now, right?
Was that the
But
one with Richard
in general, no, that's 3. That was
Oh,
pretty
okay.
bad too. This is the one with Mercury Man or whatever the hell
What's
he
your
was.
favorite
Which
Superman,
one does
Bobby?
he fly around the earth and reverses the spin? to
Yeah, here we go.
reverse
So
time?
Tony, my favorite Superman is Christopher Reeve. I was born in the 70s. Like
Same.
that's got to be,
Definitely.
But everybody holds that movie to this amazingly high standard, right? And again, it's a comic book movie that's trying to be grounded in reality as best as it can. What's great about that movie is it's just Superman. Everything nowadays, there's always got to be all these metahumans and all this other shit mucking everything up. But even in that movie, which is the gold standard, right? Superman spins around the earth to reverse time to save one life, which not only scientifically wouldn't work, but it's a comic book movie, right? But if he were to do that, all he would have done is essentially murder 8 billion people, because as soon
He
as
would
that earth stops
destroy.
spinning, everybody's just going to float up, and he goes back the other way and just splat. So
He
it's
would
not
destroy
saying that,
all
like,
life on Earth.
movie. Yes, it would
Yes.
absolutely. Wouldn't work at all, but it's fiction, and it's just, hey, this is how it's going to work. So you have these different adaptations of Superman, and it's so funny to me. Oh, everybody loved the Henry Cavill. He's my Superman. This is not my Superman. Like, this is not my president type shit. And
Right.
he was over brooding and angry, and then this other one is too happy and whatever. I can't believe that a movie, like, if you don't like it, don't watch it.
Well, that's it. And I know that
incredible.
like the right has their panties in a bunch about it because like it's an immigrant story, and that's what James Gunn
Right.
said. He said it's a story about an immigrant. Now, I mean,
And
he's a
the whole
legitimate.
tale of the second page of the original Superman comic is literally about him being an immigrant or an alien.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
what are
Listen,
we talking about?
The current story, again, what they try to do with these movies is take something so far outlandish as comic book superheroes and ground them as much as possible in a real world. What would actually happen if people had these strengths? It started with Man of Steel in 2013. If 2 superhumans were fighting in a city like Manhattan, there's going to be collateral damage. They didn't delve into how many people died from it. It was just buildings got crushed, and everyone had a problem with that. Oh, tens of thousands of people would have died reading too far into it. And then, you come over to this world, and it's a similar story. What if Superman did stop a war? Like, how many people in the world would think he's an asshole for that? right? It's just a fucking story.
I
It's
like
a story
James
that
At least he
made
would have
it
stopped one.
a little bit different. I liked what James Gunn did. You can't take it a 100-year-old Superman who's got infinite powers and very easily create a story. That's been the problem with Superman movies the entire time. If he's that invincible, who's fighting him? It always starts with Lex Luthor and a kryptonite rock. You know, it's like blah, 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 blah. But now you got to get into this world where you actually have people of similar powers to make it a fun story. And to make it look hard. That actually started with the 2006 one with Brandon Routh. They made it look hard. Superman saved that airplane from crashing, which was a killer scene, right? But it made it look like it wasn't easy for him when it could have been easy for him.
I completely forgot that Brandon Routh was fucking Superman for a movie.
Right.
Bobby's really passionate about this, huh?
Oh, Bobby,
I didn't even know there
Superman.
was a new Superman.
Yeah, I do. I love the different adaptations, but
Tony's like, I don't know. Tony's like, wait, the new Brandon Routh Superman?
Children just came on here.
Wait, that's the
2006
Brandon
they
Routh
just shot it in
Superman's coming out next year in Lithuania.
You know what? And now that I think about it, they did a because Brandon Routh was in he was in Arrow, he was in Legends of Tomorrow, or he played Adam, I think, right? He played he played a different character, and that's right, because I used to love Arrow, and I used to watch all the crossovers and stuff, and they did the Crisis on Infinite Earths, and they went to one Earth where Brandon Routh, who in the show plays Adam, and he was Superman in another universe, and that's right, I forgot that he was even in a fucking movie as Superman.
that was a giant like crossover CW event.
I mean,
Right?
Yes,
They had,
that was
in all the versions of Superman, even the ones that didn't make it, like they had Nicolas Cage dressed up as Superman on one of the layers.
Yep, they did. They did.
Yeah.
I loved Arrow. You know, it was such a fun show.
I mean, I've seen people mad about Happy Gilmore too.
I was going to ask you. I know, Chris. I
See, I
just
haven't
started
seen
watching it today.
I just watched it Friday night.
I was amused. It was amusing. It's like it
Why are
had
people-
great. It had like silly cameos that didn't fall flat, and like a bunch of callbacks, and a little bit of nostalgia, and some silly golf shit. Like,
It was
Kelsey's on that
nostalgic,
movie.
right?
yeah,
Like,
it was
it
good.
needed
It
to
was
be.
fine.
It had the feel of the same movie from 30 years ago. They tried to kind of paint it in the same light with the type of comedy. It didn't hit as hard, right? Because you can't redo a movie like that.
Not
It was
that
so
age
great. And it's
anymore.
30 years later. So the point is to pull into it a little bit and tell a different story. Was it stupid in some parts? And absolutely, of course. But it was just fun.
So was the
good.
original. You tell me, you look me in the eye and tell me that you thought the Grizzly Adams does have a beard joke was funny.
In this one?
In the original one, I was like, what the fuck? I don't get this. This is stupid. But
Yeah, right. It didn't have to be in the movie. You're right. And then they put it in this one. And I was just kind of like,
I mean, and also it's very it was very golf specific joke heavy. Like there were some very kind of niche golf jokes in there that I think a lot of people didn't get. Like there's, I don't know, sorry to derail the conversation to talk about Happy Gilmore too. Are you done with Superman?
Speaking of, are you in a golf cart?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's just perfect.
Yeah, we have a-
I'm done with Superman. We're done with
We have
Happy
a-
Gilmore.
yeah,
We'll go watch it. Let's talk hockey.
The golf cart's got the only seats that are dry, so I decided to sit in it. I won't drive around.
I hate golf carts. I fucking hate golf carts. Not when people use golf carts.
It's midgets
on
and golf carts.
On golf courses, I have no problem with that. I
That's
work
where they belong.
on an island. Okay, I work in a resort area. I work my work is around nothing but $3 million and up homes. Okay, the people that are our customer base have fucking money coming out of money, and they all ride around town in fucking golf carts, and it makes me so mad when I go to pull into a fucking Wawa to get a cup of coffee, and I got 3 fucking golf carts with like they pack like 15 fucking kids in there, and they all ride around, and they're not street legal. Everybody drives them. They're taking up all. I hate golf carts. I fucking hate them. I go to Lowe's, and there's a whole line of golf carts now that they sell. Like, I don't get it.
I mean, ours is very, very basic. Like,
What do you
it's
pay
not like,
for a golf cart, Tim?
I don't know, a couple $1,000s.
Well, the ones I saw at Lowe's that were like, these were heavy duty ones with like, 6-seaters, and like they were like 20 grand. 20,
So
25.
so my brother and I, we
Some of
co-own
the
a house in a similar. Oh fuck! There's a wasp. Not good.
Get 'em.
Get him. Hey, what the hell, Bob?
Sick
I'm
boy.
allergic to wasps. You want to watch me die in a stream?
Oh,
Yeah, maybe then
well,
we'll.
Be a very
then
popular
we'll bump up.
podcast, actually.
Yeah,
It was-
yeah, exactly. It's like the subscribers are through the roof. Um, there were those what was it, the Faces of Death videos?
Oh,
yeah.
Tony knows those. He probably has a whole.
I think
Whole
everybody
collection
in
of
the 80s, if you're an 80s kid, that was the one you're told, like, you got to see this. Real people die. And even if you don't, I hate
That was
actually
another-
at this age, man, I don't like watching people die on videos. But I remember back then, I think every kid at like 13 and 14.
that was another late night at the
Oh,
Chris household when we were kids, throwing that on, maybe after Naked Gun. Like, let's laugh, let's cry, let's puke, whatever. Let's just do
And
it.
scrambled Playboy
So-
afterwards.
But they made that was the
Boom,
best.
boom,
When you-
boom.
right, there's a boob, there's a boob. But the Faces of Death, like the first one, I remember that was fucking scarring. Like but then they made a whole bunch of them, and then I heard like later on, like after 4
Some
or
of it
5,
was
like
fake.
they were just
Fake.
making shit up at that point. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Car that falls on a guy. You remember that? He's like fucking fixing something, and the whole car wheel falls on him and crushes him. I remember that when I was a kid.
the only thing I really remember from those are a couple of clips. Like I remember the monkey brain one. I remember that where like they put the fucking live monkey and they would cut their fucking heads off and they would eat the brains while the monkey was still alive or something. I remember like something like that. I remember like people falling, jumping off bridges and buildings and stuff. They would always show and stuff like that. But I don't remember too many of the grosser details. I think I blocked that out.
Well, the scary thing
Yeah.
is real life has desensitized us more than that movie ever did. After if you've lived to be our age, you've seen some shit now. And it's, I mean,
And
just
I don't-
9/11, for example, is like Jesus Christ. Like you don't need Faces of Death. You just watch what those people had to go through.
yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
I guess we should talk a little hockey.
Now that everyone's depressed.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
What do
I
we-
guess
what do
we could pivot to NHL stuff. Not like there's.
I mean,
like,
I
a
blame
whole
Tom
lot going on.
Fitzgerald because there's nothing
It's-
to talk
it's-
about. So
Maybe that's why Luke's not extension isn't done. Maybe Tom's just hoping his name doesn't come out in the files. Maybe that's it. Maybe he's just dealing with other shit right now. I don't know.
Chris had a
He's
funny
getting-
line.
He's getting traded.
Nah, he's not. But I just shared a picture with the group here of my kids in New Jersey, number 43. And of course, Chris was like, good, at least you get to watch somebody wearing 43 this year. Like,
That's a good.
yeah,
That's a good line.
Fucking,
I hope there's another one.
like, what is like seriously at this point when it comes to Luke Hughes' contract, we have to stop and actually think that there's some problems here, right? Like, there's something that's not getting done. I mean, what is the hang up? Is it term? Is it money? I don't know. What do you guys think?
So we talk about this each time, and I still had said I don't think there's a problem. I think it's just one of those things that's taking its course. However, Tim did notify us of some kind of special clause in contracts that I guess theoretically would make it even easier to sign them, at least to make the money work on the first year.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if Fitz is going to tap into that or if Luke wants to do that, but it's something that Eric Tulsky in Carolina has done a couple of times. And by the way, since Fitz was like, Luke is my only priority, Eric Tulsky signed 3 people to pretty complicated long-term contracts, which is fucking hilarious to me. It's you've heard it mentioned, and I kind of, you're like, oh, it's deferred money. And you're like, oh yeah, they get paid later. That's kind of the mechanics of it. And that really kind of is what it is. So like if you sign, say a 4x4 to keep the math simple, right? $4 million by 4 years. So that's 16 million. So if you defer some of it to be paid out after the contract's over, that's why you can do this. To have it be paid in like a lump sum after the contract's over, so it doesn't count as part of the contract. But what it does, and the reason it kind of reduces the cap hit, and it's not just really cut and dried math. It's not like we're deferring $2 million of the first year, so you get paid $2 million afterwards, so it's only a $14 million contract. It's actually they look at interest rates and time value of money. So they say, okay, if we're paying you $2 million in 4 years, with what would that be today if the $2 million was what you'd wind up with interest payments? So they work backwards to figure out what that value would be. So like if the interest rate is 6%, I think it's like, 1.8 million or something like that. So it saves a little bit of money. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if
that's what
the
I got
type
out of
shit
the.
that to work out, but again,
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit.
yeah, I don't know if that's probably.
I think from
Am
what
I?
I got out of that too was that this is more of a bigger cap management team issue thing, because even though it looks like you're deferring, say, $1 million, the way it splits out over the term, it saves like on the salary cap, like several $100,000 each time you do this. So it's really for like teams up against the cap that are really just kind of trying to manage those last few dollars. How do you get a couple of big contracts in? It's not like now your AAV is $3 million a year instead of $4 million. It doesn't quite come down that drastically. It's a little bit more piecemeal that you can do throughout the whole team. So it's probably not what would, like, I started this by saying, hey, does this make it easier to sign Luke? So yes, I guess technically it would, but not as much easier as we think. So it's really not the solution. It's really just get it done and move the other pieces you have to move.
The NFL with some of their contracts, the NFL with some of their contracts they have, it's not like, I forget what it's called, but it's essentially that I can move years of a person's contract to a later date, even when they're not on the team. So they still get their money, but I'm just basically pushing all the accounting to the back end. So if I sign, Tony to a 3-year deal at $10 million a year, $30 million contract, but I need to pay that. I need to pay that over 6 years.
Well, I finally get an Uncle Pucker sticker.
Fuck you. No, you don't get shit.
That still won't cover it. That still won't cover international shipping.
He still gets the 10. But if anybody else wants an Uncle Pucker sticker, all you have to do is go to the unclepuckers.com and go to the contact me info, fill it all out, and I will send it to you in the mail free of charge.
Tony, just go use an alias or something.
Tim got his sticker that way.
I did. I got it in like 2 days. It's pretty cool. Yeah. I actually got like 2 stickers in the mail.
Oh my! I think one was for Tony.
I even got a jersey from Chris, but not a fucking sticker inside.
That's right. Why did I not even stick a sticker in there when I sent that to Lithuania? That's fucking funny. I will send you one, Tony, I promise. Text me.
So now that Tony has his $30 million 3-year contract.
So he has this 3-year, $30 million contract, but I am going to pay that. Tony's going to get his money. He's going to get all his 30 in 3 years, but I'm going to pay that over 6. So I'm only going to pay $5 million towards, because I can push it to other years. It's called something, not dead cap years, but it's called something else. And I don't know right now. But like, I wish the NHL should try to collectively bargain for something like that, just to make contracts and salary caps a little bit more.
They actually went in the opposite direction in the new CBA. They all the contract terms, like that this deferred money stuff is going to be going away. A lot of their double retention is going to be going away. It's going to be a very sort of clean, cut and dried sort of cap management stuff. Like, if you try and figure out like how the salary cap works in basketball, like your fucking head will explode. So like it's going to be a very simple, clean salary cap system. So I don't know, man. I don't think that's what's holding up the Luke deal. It's just so fucking strange that it's been this long. I can't get over just how much Fitzgerald just puts his foot in his mouth. It's like maybe just don't say something next time, man. Like just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean I don't want to say I'm concerned, but I'm kind of concerned. Like, I feel like this should have been something easy enough to get done. So there's got to be a hang up. Like, it's got to be a term. It's got to be a money. Like, is Tom Fitzgerald looking to sign Luke for 8 years, but Luke wants a 4-year deal? Is it Tom wants him signing for 8 and Luke wants 9.5? Like, is that what the issue is? Because that, to me, the money, I think you can work out. But if there's like a big discrepancy in the term, I think that could be an issue. So I don't know.
I think you're forgetting the other side of this that we've never talked about.
What's that?
Do we even need Luke Hughes? Fuck him.
I mean, no.
But your son
Totally
just got
kidding.
number 43. Your
Yeah,
son
I
just
know.
got number 43. What are we
My
going to do about
allegiance does not reflect that of the team's success.
Yeah, no, we'll
Well,
just get Quinn and never speak of Luke.
is there any truth to this from Meadowlander? Maybe Fitz is listening to offers from Vancouver. Now,
Yeah, no.
my question is he listening to offers from Vancouver for Luke or for Quinn? What are we doing here?
Maybe I don't know. Maybe he's here's the other thing. So I read something the other day that there like there tend to be kind of dominoes where like we're talking about trading Dougie, right? Even though I think it's a bad idea, I will play out this scenario just for Tony's sake. Rasmus Anderson in Calgary there's a lot of interest around him, and same with Morgan Riley in Toronto. I read the other day that Morgan Riley is willing to waive his no trade to go to Vancouver. So like there are sort of defensive dominoes that may need to fall before something like a Dougie trade actually happens and a Quinn comes here. So that's, I don't know, that could be happening. I don't know. Or it could just be like everybody's like, yeah, our team's fine. We're just gonna go into the season and see how it goes. I have no idea, man. It's fucking strange.
I'm kind of at that point.
By the way, the pool's almost ready, boys.
Oh, however you just were, like that was, we heard you perfectly. Just stay like that. Okay.
Like
Yeah,
that.
before it sounded like you had something in your mouth.
I did. I had
Yeah.
a zin in my mouth.
Don't move. That's
I had
perfect.
a dick in my mouth, Tony.
Well,
You were talking about Dougie, weren't you?
Tim Wood's penis is teeny tiny, but his love for the Devils is large.
so
Fuck you, buddy.
dude, when they just did that whole fucking Saddam Hussein throwback, I was crying.
I was dying.
Come on, guy. I was fucking rolling, man. What those guys, just give zero fucks. It was just what a great episode. We talked a little bit about it earlier. But what was that, Tone?
They're hanging on by a thread.
Yeah. So I mean, this I don't know. I'm kind of at the point with the Devils that this is the team. This is it. Like we're not going to do a whole lot more, if anything. I'm still hoping that Polak gets traded, but at this point, like, is there really going to be any more moves?
How disappointed are you guys? Because you had to think something else was going to get done. I mean, I think if there's anything else, it will happen probably in camp, maybe something around that time period. But
yeah,
I mean,
but
I thought we were going to do a little bit more, even though I was saying like not much. I just thought a little bit more than where we're at now. Like now, I go back to that press conference, what we're talking about priorities and stuff and this and that, and it just seems like doesn't mean shit.
No, you're right. I did expect more. It's like, I don't know why he couldn't make any moves for a 3C, at least a 3C. Like I could live with kind of our top 6 right now, but that 3C spot I think is just too valuable to have. Just Dawson Mercer slotted in there, or maybe it's going to be Juho in that spot. I don't know. But I don't know.
I'm getting myself like excited about the potential of Thomas Bordeleau. It's just like,
now who is this guy?
From the Sharks, what, 1 year, 2-way, Tim?
Thomas Bordeleau? Yeah, 1 year, 2-way. He's Michigan, another Michigan kid, a little bit undersized, but has really, really, really high end skill. Was pretty well thought of after his coming out of the draft. He's got a lot of potential. He can do some crazy shit with the puck. Has good speed. He's just on the small side, and I don't think he particularly plays like a Jesper Bratt where he's a water bug. I think he doesn't play like that at all. So I don't know. We'll see. Some of these guys, I honestly like. I know their stats and I know what they look like, and like if I were to see them on the street, but like I honestly don't know enough about how they actually play hockey. Like that enough. Like I don't know if I could pick him out of a lineup watching him skate. So I did, in my not being able to sleep last night, come up with a new fun lineup in my head. If you want to hear.
So what's your new fun lineup?
Bratt, Nico, and Timo. Jack with Dadonov and Gritsuk. Glass with Mercer and Brown. And and then Juho with Cotter and Nason.
Where was Mercer on this?
Third line wing with Glass and Brown.
Glass, Mercer, Brown.
I can't help but notice you have no Palat on this team. I'll
None
take
of
your
us
lineup.
have had Jack. A lot on the team. And then the second line was Jack with the Donoff and Grisslet.
That's okay.
Gritzuk, yep.
And then the fourth, what was that fourth line? Was Juho.
Juho, Cotter, Nason. Yeah, I know it doesn't have Palat in it, but I just, man, get him off.
I mean, I think that's your team. I'll give you that. I think that's the team. I would like to see. I think, is there a chance that, a guy like LaChance can make the team, or, a guy like that? Like, I mean, is there a spot? I don't know. That seems like the team. The only guy out of your lineup that you could maybe say might not be on the team would be Dawson Mercer, but I don't know.
Yeah, the other option is move Glass to 4C. Juho becomes the 13th forward. Mercer becomes the 3C, and Palat is that third line wing. Sorry, Bob.
Palat has to go. Palat cannot stay on the team.
And I think honestly, I think his agent gained the because they have to submit their 10-team list every July 1st, and I think the agent basically gained the list. This is just me making shit up, but I've read that agents do this. They gain the 10-team list to like teams with no cap space, so they can't. They have to kind of force Palat out, and because he can't be waived and then just traded.
Sure.
I don't know. It's fucking ridiculous, man.
Where did you have?
It's amazing. We've had what 5 shows without anything happen.
Nothing. We're here making shit up just so we can fucking keep the Devil podcast going because Tom Fitzgerald
Supposed to be
is sat on
vacation
his
time.
hands. And
That's
to answer
right.
Metalander's question, he had Nason on the fourth line with Juho centering him and Cotter. So that's where.
And look, and some of that shit could be interchangeable. Brown and Nason.
Sure.
I think Cotter's is pretty solidly in that fourth line left wing.
But I will say this. If that bottom six is some, variance of Mercer, Glass, Brown, Nason, Juho, Cotter, throw a guy here or there in there, those 6 guys are leaps and bounds better than the 6 guys that were out there for us last year. So when we sit here and we bitch and moan that nothing big has happened, that tweaking of that bottom 6 can help this team so much. So I'm like, I look at that and I'm like, that could be a decent bottom 6. Now I don't know how Juho is. I don't know. And maybe, Mercer needs to play better. We know that Nason and Cotter have more in the tank, but I like that bottom 6 much better than looking at one that has Tatar and Lazar and Bastion on it. And,
and
Hala,
Dowling.
and Dowling, who's a Ranger now. I just think he did do the job when it comes to the bottom 6. This bottom 6 should be a lot more productive than the one that we've had.
I just think it's so I think for us, what's disappointing, I know for myself, is a couple of seasons ago, I felt like the Devils had this window. We were young. Okay, we're young. But I thought this was going to be a window where we could be one of these teams, say one of the top 8 teams in the league of dominance, And I feel like it's totally reversed. Now I'm hoping we can win. I'll be honest, hey, I know you guys know me. I'm a huge Devils fan. I was a young kid. Don't know how many games we're going to win this year. I don't feel too confident going. I look at the other lineups. Of course, let's not even count the Panthers because I think the Panthers are built like every team wants to be built. But I feel like every season, the last 3 seasons, I feel like we've gone back. Our goaltending's much better now.
I get it. Like I get exactly what Tony's saying. Like there was a feeling a few years ago of that we literally were building to something and becoming where we're going to be for the next few years. And now it's just more like hoping and wishing that all this comes together. Like we're looking at this lineup, right? And it's like, okay, so Gritsuk. So here's kind of an X factor guy, right? Because he's got skill and he's got upside. So you're not going to put him on 3rd and 4th, at least in the lineup in your head, right? So you throw him on the top 2. So is that fine if he's the complementary player to a top line pairing that's already kind of doing their thing? Or is it not fine unless this guy comes out and scores 30, 40 goals? Like, what are you expecting? And what if he doesn't fit in such a role like that and has to be pulled down to third and fourth. Now you're in that situation again where is Cotter going up? Is Mercer going up? Is Palat back on the line? So there is a lot of things. So that's where, like, to Tony's point, it's not like this confident feeling. It's more of this, hey, let's hope everything works out, because we don't have the track record of last year or so to say this is the precedent. This is kind of what's going to happen. You're still kind of hoping. So, yeah, not a good place. Not where we thought we were going to be.
Well, in 2022, the Devils went on their big 112-point season, right? The season that Tony's talking about.
Seems
right.
So long ago now.
In the NFL, being a Viking fan, that was the first year that the new head coach, Kevin O'Connell, the new general manager, came in. That was their first year. And I'm going to just do a little side-by-side comparison, right? They essentially came in and didn't blow anything up. They looked at this, Minnesota-wise, looked at this team very smart and said, we have a lot of veterans on this team. We have a lot of aging guys with big contracts, but we need to know who we're going to move forward with and who we're going to back off it. So they basically ran it back from the same team from a prior coach the year before, a team that didn't make the playoffs. They added a guy here or there, but for the most part, 95% of the roster stayed the same. And they won 13 games, and they got bounced in the first round of the playoffs like they always do. But they won 13 games, and they were able to, at that point, get the most out of that lineup and then start tweaking. And then they started dumping big contracts like Dalvin Cook and Adam Thielen. And then the next year, Kirk Cousins is gone, Danielle Hunter's gone, guys like that. So they looked at the whole thing, saw this team at its peak win 13 games. Probably not going to get more out of that team. But then they went and started dissecting and doing really good things and putting themselves to a position this year where they can be a contender. The same year the Devils did their 112-point season. Tom Fitzgerald, like you said, Tone, he seemed to just kind of reverse engineer success. He went backwards. It was an overcorrection of everything. It was, in my opinion, like 112 points. You got rid of all the speed. Didn't fix the goaltending. Then the next season, we were goaltending fucks us all up, and then injuries on top of all of that.
Chris, I will say this. Plus, if you would have hit those last two trade deadlines, I think you would be going into the offseason a lot different. Then these little moves will be cool. Like, okay, you're doing this because we picked up this.
Yeah.
I felt like we were left hanging the last two seasons, whether it been goaltending, defense, strength, whatever we want to say, because we've actually on the show here. It's our third or fourth season we've been doing this. We saw our needs, and we're bozos who fucking go to real jobs, and this is what we do. And I felt like if we would have hit those last two trade deadlines, these little things that we're doing would make much more sense. Now it's like, I'm looking at other teams, and I'm looking at the Devils and just from the Dogs, like Meadowlander saying in here and stuff like that. And I don't know. I mean, I'm actually scratching my head. Even like I said, maybe we'll do something small in the camps and stuff like that. But it's hard to get excited this season. I'm excited for hockey, of course, but we've stepped back from 2022.
What you two are like explaining, it's like in Minnesota's case, right, Chris? It's like they had what a company would do. Like, you have a strategic plan. This is the plan that we're going to follow. And to the best of our ability, we're going to do that straight line. Tom Fitzgerald talks like that and he acts like that, but then he's overreactionary at each of the next year. And then that trade line, it kind of dips down and it kind of resets in a different direction. So he didn't have that firm belief. And this is what I'm building. It's going to keep getting better till we get to our ultimate goal. He kept taking like roadblocks from it.
And that's kind of the key.
The whole thing up.
Like, what was the result that he was looking for? Like, what did he expect when he went and didn't change goaltenders after 2012, or just bulked up the defense and let all our speed leave in 2020 or 2022, rather 2023? Like, there's no clear line of this is. It's like the big move was Timo Meier in 2022, and that was the biggest move that he made. And then now it seems like I gave you the team, man. Go fucking win the Stanley Cup. Like, that's not, the team's not done. Like, it shouldn't be, you shouldn't just be resting on the move you made 3 years ago. And look, if Dadonov comes in and is a 30-goal scorer, and like you said, if Gritsuk can play and actually plays defense too and looks like a good player, and we get what we get from Connor Brown, maybe this team would be a lot better than we think. I don't know. But
exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. We're hanging our hat on a lot of hopes, and to an extent, you kind of need to do that for every team needs to do that. I hope everyone stays healthy. I hope this new infusion of speed helps us score a little bit more. I hope our high end guys hit their high end ceilings. There's a variance of a high end and a low end, and we need everything to kind of go right. But so does every team, and some teams are more insulated against bad things happening than I think we are. Like, I don't think we're as well insulated or protected against a major injury, or Timo not scoring as many goals as he need to, or Jack, not being, a stud every night, or Markstrom, taking a step back. I just don't think we're hanging our hats on a lot of hope here. And
I will.
Sorry, that's it.
No, but you're right, and we are. But at the same time, if you say, okay, look, if Gritsuk can play, if Dadonov can play, if Jack stays healthy, and we know he's one of the best in the league, and he can put together 82 plus for this year, and all the other guys kind of played at their full potential, and maybe we see Timo, wake up in December instead of March this year, like things like that. Like, what you're going to get from guys like Bratt and Nico. Like, they are what they are. They're going to be out there. They're gamers. Same with Markstrom. And I'm not worried at all about our defense. I mean, from the blue line back, I think we are as good as any other team in the NHL when it comes to that aspect. I like our defense. I like our goaltenders. But if everything goes right, yeah, this could be a hell of a team.
So I will say this too, because, just to put positive spin on it, this is not unlike going into the 2022 season, though. That was a hopeful season. None of us were walking into that season going, we're pulling up a 112-point run, like, at all. We knew we had pieces that were capable of doing certain things, and it all came together. So I'm not saying this is a 112-point season. Of course not. I'm just saying there could be just everything kind of works well enough. Injuries, playing up to or near potential, add it all together in the aggregate. Right, Tim? And boom, we have a successful team.
And
Yeah, exactly. And this is something that I think I'm going to try and write if I ever start for All About the Jersey. I'm not sure when that's going to actually start.
You probably need internet for that.
Yeah. I'm waiting. They're doing like a big kind of site overhaul with SB Nation. So like, so I guess I'm waiting for that. But that's sort of best case, worst case scenario for the Devils. Like, there is a best case and worst case, and we'll probably wind up somewhere in the middle. But best case, Timo scores 35. Best case, Jack hits 100 plus points. Best case, Nico replicates 35 points. Best case, Brad hits 90. Best case, Dadonov scores 25. Best case, Gritsuk hits 25. Worst case, Jack dies. Brad dies. Nico dies. Timo finds a chick on Hinge that breaks his heart. Markstrom, he turns to a fucking skeleton. Brett Pesce dies. There's a lot of death.
A lot of
Death episode.
yeah, we're loaded with that.
Yeah, I'll make up very exotic ways for them to die.
This is an extremely, I think, important comment to kind of look at real quick. So it says, don't forget, the core was not built by Fitz. He inherited a lot of soft forwards with trade high-end contracts. He's right. Like, this is a lot of this core is Shiro, other than like Palat and Hamilton and stuff. Like, what has Tom Fitzgerald really done to kind of enhance what Ray Shero left him? Like, I kind of feel like he's just gone backwards. Like, and that's the frustrating
thing. He enhanced the goaltending and he enhanced the defense.
Yeah,
but who's like? I push back on the soft description. Like, who's soft? Like, Panarin to me is soft. Like, I like Jack gets hurt. Like, if you want to call that soft, all right.
No,
I don't think Brad's soft. I don't think Nico's soft. I don't think Timo's soft. Like, that's
I think
our core.
soft is different the way you're putting it, though. Than when I say it, I'm talking about when one of our guys gets hit. If we're the Florida Panthers, we're up their ass punching them in the back of the fucking head during the game.
Yeah,
where I see a lot of dudes skating away. And Christian,
not last year you didn't see that. You saw it a lot more.
Sometimes I saw
after. Yeah, there was some of that. Like, when Timo got headbutted by Brent Burns, I was a little annoyed that I didn't really see any immediate pushback. And like, there is something to be said for, and actually Kevin Bieksa talked about this a lot. He was like, there needs to be sort of a time and a place. Like if you're losing 1-0, and going into, you need to be kind of judicious about that pushback. But I don't know if you remember against Florida in the fall, where Matthew Tkachuk absolutely lit up Nico, and then we were on top of him like a pack of fucking wild dogs. There actually was like a great still photo, I think, of like someone choking out Matthew Tkachuk. So I think there is some to that, and that could be part of Ace's theory about the like a memo that went out, or I don't know if these guys just something happened. Someone fucked someone's wife over Christmas, and they're like, I don't want to play with this guy anymore. Who knows, man? It just stopped happening.
Chris said something a couple seasons ago, which as much as I hate it, I have to take it into, it is a different league now than when we were, back in the day, every team fought. Like if it was 4-1 and you were losing, you were going to fight those last two periods. Like that's what it was. When that game got out of hand, that's when it really got out of hand. So I think it is a different league because when I want, like, even you mentioned Ace, when I see his show, he's kind of into that old school fight all the time thing.
Yeah.
But it is a different world, though. Chris mentioned that a couple seasons ago, and I did take that in my brain when I think about I think we were talking about coaching, how you deal with the players and how you talk to the players. Back in the day, completely different than now. So I think that.
No, absolutely. The guys.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And it's like that in every sport, though. It's just in just culture and us in our normal everyday lives. Like there is I was listening to a really good podcast called the O-Line Committee, and it's two guys that played offensive guard in the NFL for a bunch of years, and they tell a bunch of stories and all this other stuff. And oh shit, I had a fucking point and it just went out of my head. I seriously hate when that happens. I did have a point to make on all this. What were you just saying, Tone, about the fighting?
I was just saying how the culture's changed.
I got you. And now I remember. And they were saying how, like, when they were in the league, like they were told something. It's just okay. They fucking did it, and they were called names. They were fucking put down. They had shit thrown at them. Like that. That was just how the culture was, and it was like that in all the sports. He's like, now the young guys that come in, they want to know why everything. Well, why are we doing this? Why do you have us doing that? Why? Like back then, they just shut the fuck up and did what they were told to do. Everybody now is much more sensitive, much more aware of everything that goes on. Everybody feels like they need to have a voice in every locker room and stuff. And back when we were watching sports or playing sports and growing up, like if you weren't the main guy, you just shut the fuck up and did what you were told. And guys aren't, and so you have to, and that's why I think Sheldon Keefe fits in very good for this lineup. I think he's a great coach. I really like him. I like the culture he's building. I like that this Devil team does seem very connected. They seem like they like each other, and I think that goes a long way when you're playing 82 games with each other. But there's, it just comes down to I don't think that it's their culture that's holding them back. I don't think that it's their coaching that's holding them back. I just think that if they are going to be held back, it's just going to be because other teams have better players and made better moves. And that's really what I think it comes down to.
Like, I think if you put Matthew Tkachuk on any team or Brady Tkachuk, they're going to be instigating assholes. That's what they are. And it's just what they are. And if you have a guy who's not like that, I think we saw that with a few guys we had who, it's not about, like I see Meadowlander, it's not all about fighting, but there's just something about taking those hits and stuff like that. Like when you play Florida, you're going to get pulverized for like that whole game, and that. And I think that makes a big difference in the psyche of a player, and their decisions that they're making on the ice. Like, do you want to get caught not looking because you're going to pay for that?
I think it's actually
there's
consistency issue too.
What's that, Bobby?
Like,
I'm sorry.
I think it's a little bit of a consistency issue too. We have seen this team play that way. We have seen this team play to the style of the Florida Panthers against the Florida Panthers. Why they change based on who they're playing or time of the year, or maybe you just can't sustain it all year, I don't know. But they've shown that capability to play that way. And that's kind of what drives me nuts. You're professional athletes. I don't understand why that 100% effort isn't every game. Honestly, you get hurt once in a while, you get an illness, whatever, loss of a family member. There's things that aren't going to let you be 100% all the time. But for the most part, right? Like, Why is the whole collective of this team not throwing that gear out there every time? That's what bothers me. Or at least look like they're trying to do that. Because there's going to be games where you're trying to play your game, but there's another team over there that says, well, we're not going to allow you to play that game. And that's sports, right? But to look like you're still doing that same way and not change the approach. And I'm not talking about changing an approach because of score and that, there's things within the game that I get. I'm talking about just in general, how you play and how you play hard and heavy and don't back down. Like that should be a trait that just transcends every game.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's it's hard to do, and that could be part of why they fell off a cliff in January is because they were playing that way for 3 months, and it's an exhausting style of play, and that's why you see, we beat Florida early in the year, but they just kicked the shit out of everybody in the playoffs. It's like honestly, like if you're gonna play that way, I'd rather you play at the end of the season that way as opposed to the beginning of the season.
Well, that's what Florida knows when they have to turn it up, and they know they can get by. I would say probably 60% of the season with just a B+ effort, and as long as they get in, they know okay, we kick it up to our A+ effort. Nobody can beat us. Devils aren't there yet, so they need to do. They know they have established that.
The Devils need to understand the result of their A+ effort before that is something they could ever do. They need to know where that other gear is that they can jump into. And I don't think this team has discovered that yet, only in pieces.
I know it's getting a little late. I do want to ask you guys a question because, Tony, you mentioned about the Tkachuks, right? And you put Matthew Tkachuk on a team, they're automatically going to get that snarl, get better. Same with Brady. Is Timo Meier not that guy, or can he be that guy if he does kind of, I guess, impose his will a little bit more throughout an 82-game schedule? Because I feel like we do see that aspect of him come playoff time or, a few games throughout the year, but it's not an every game thing. And I know, of course, I understand playing that way 82 games like we talked about is brutal. But do you think that we can get more of that aspect from Timo Meier? Or
I think Meier's a part of that kind of player. I just don't think he has. I think there's certain guys who are just that dude. And I think that's why everybody wants. I mean, that's why you want a Tkachuk. Even people who don't like him, I can't help but like these guys. Like I just think the way they play reminds me of old school hockey. And everybody would like these guys. I think Timo could make a change, but I think they're above the 25. There's just something different about that blood. I mean, let's be honest. From that bloodstream and that family, man, there's just something different,
Yeah, I mean, Timo does play a good kind of menace, hard physical hockey, but that's because he's big. Like, he's not getting in people's heads, and he's not starting shit after whistles, and not to make a real leap of character here, but if you look at the way he shows up to games and beautiful two-piece, well-buttoned-up suits and shit like that. It's kind of
he's a good-looking man.
Is he a little bit of a pretty boy? Like,
yeah, I see where you're going.
Listen,
you think that he's just? You think he's a soft little F word? I get it.
No, I don't. It's somewhere in the middle. It's like, does he kind of have that fucking dog attitude? And that's the thing. Like Tony's talking about the Tkachuks. It's like they're a rare breed. And it's just unfortunately Florida fucking cornered the market on that type of rare breed. There's just only so many of those guys in the league, and we don't really have a lot of them, if any of them. Maybe Brendan Dillon. Oh, speaking of, this is something I wanted to say before, but speaking of like how Florida plays, really good listen. The PDO cast like last week, Brendan Dillon's a guest on it. And he really talks a lot about that type of stuff and about, particularly about, going back for puck retrieval. So if someone dumps the puck in on him, how, his sort of the pregame preparation and he knows like who's coming up, who's coming back on him. He's like, oh, if it's like Mitch Marner, I know he's going to try and steal the puck with a stick check. Or if it's Matthew Tkachuk or Tom Wilson, he's like, I'm really good friends with Tom Wilson. He's like, I know Tom Wilson's going to try and put me through the fucking board, so I better be ready to put him, to get the stick off my puck. So let's get the puck off my stick.
I love Brendan Dillon. I do. And I know that there was questions about his play and stuff, but it wasn't his play that he was brought here for. It was for
exactly
leadership. It was for that the guy that can fucking put that defense on his back and get guys to play the way he plays, and that's what you need because he's a leader with that. I love him. I love him.
You want to be in someone's head, like Chris was talking about the Vikings earlier, and I'll even refer to my the Raiders. Is back in the day, I've watched many teams, many interviews. They said when the Raiders bus pulled up, you were afraid.
Yeah,
you knew that you may win this game possibly, but you were going to get fucked up during the whole thing. And I think that is we talk about it on this show. We say, okay, Jack's got to go play against a Kachuk. Well, we're worried. We're like, man, is he going to fucking leave this game? Is he going to play the whole game? Is he going to get knocked out? And as much as that sucks for us, for that other team, as a fan of that other team, it's got to pump you up because there's something about being in their heads the whole time. And there's certain teams that are in your heads. And I think that's even in 2025, I know the league's changed, but it's still a key thing.
I agree. And I think this is an extremely good point here. That there are undervalued dogs out there. Finding them is what separates Fitz from Zito. I agree with that. Zito's got such a pulse on this league and who he wants to have on his team and what he expects from them. And I don't know if Fitz knows what he's looking for sometimes.
And Cotter was knocking the shit out of people.
Yeah, but Cotter's got the hockey IQ of a potato, and it's like Matthew Tkachuk, as much of a menace as he is, he's over 100-point scorer.
Yeah.
Sam Bennett is actually a fucking nasty hockey player. Sam Reinhart's a nasty hockey player. So it's like, those guys we had Nason's good, gritty guy, but he's slow as shit and doesn't really do much besides sit in front of the net. Cotter, can you hear me? Yeah, Cotter kind of is. Yeah, the script guys.
Cotter and Nason they're the level below those guys. I mean, they can bring some attributes to that, but they're not the whole package. And I think Timo could be, but maybe he is just too much of a little fancy pants, and he doesn't like to do
just
that.
Add a little bit more of it into the game is the point, right? Yeah. You add a little bit more, another guy adds a little bit more, just because you're right. The contrast last year between the way that the team stuck up for each other in the beginning of the year compared to the end, it's very noticeable.
Yeah.
So if each guy just kind of picked it up a little bit more and remembered that you're allowed to be a dick in hockey, good things can happen.
Well, look what Tim just said. You got Bennett, you got these guys you're naming on Florida, and they still went out and got big pieces during the offseason, during the trade deadline. They bring in Marchand.
Yeah.
That's
I said that at the time. I said, this is the type of move I don't feel Fitzgerald has the balls to do.
Yeah, this is the kind of move where you say to yourself, we have to give to get because we want to win. And what do they do? They win. It really sucks to see players you want to leave go. But we even learned this with Lamoriello back in the day. You got to get rid of guys that you like to get the chips you need. And I feel like even as Devil fans, we love these guys, some of these players, but sometimes they got to go.
I agree.
Yeah, you might lose the trade on paper, but if it adds an element that you need, and there is a need for that element. I don't know. We'll see. It's just annoying that we have been having the same conversation for 6 months and fucking Fitz is.
Off the subject of Fitz, what's going on in the UK?
I don't know. I don't have the internet.
Mr. Robinson just wrote, "Try being in the UK. There's riots kicking off everywhere." What the hell's going on? Over the Devils? Is it because Dodanov's on the team now? Why are they rioting?
No, there's
the Epstein files.
No, there's the massive, global immigration fight going on right now, and I imagine it's probably something to do with that.
Oh, well, it's awesome to know that we have a listener in the UK, and I'm so curious how Steve Robinson became a Devil fan. I always ask people that when they email and stuff, and they're from out of state or out of the country. I love finding out how they became Devil fans.
Kind of like having four podcast hosts for the Devils and only one living in New Jersey. This is kind of like
we're all from Jersey.
Yeah.
You guys want to see something cool? Hang on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is my. I'm in my barn. So this is our 1948 Jeep Willys that we've been renovating. It's really fucked up.
Excited there,
That's
Tim.
wonder's
Jesus.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's getting a little. It doesn't look anything like a Jeep. We're gonna wrap this.
There's a lawnmower, Chris. Fucking awesome.
I like the tractor. Oh, that's a lawnmower. That's a nice one, man.
Yeah, the thing does 25 miles an hour. It's awesome.
Quick before we get off.
Yeah, Go ahead, Bob.
Have you guys seen this by the quarter century team by the Fan?
No.
Oh, I did see that.
So it's all just Devils, Rangers, and Islanders. So they put together 3 forward lines, 2 defensive lines. So on the top line, they got Kreider on left, Tavares centering, and Ryan Callahan on right. On the second line, Patrick Elias on the left, Jack Hughes centering, and Jaromir Jagr on the right, wearing his Ranger sweater.
So is it only Ranger, Devil, Islander players?
Yeah, it was
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
On the third line, it's Panarin on left, Zibanejad at center, and Palmieri on right. And then for the defense, first pairing is Stevens and Niedermeyer, like that. Second pairing is Danico and Leach. And, of course, your goaltender, Martin Brodeur.
I'm surprised they didn't put fucking Shesterkin in as goaltender.
Right? I'm just looking at it, and my initial reaction was, boy, that's awfully Ranger heavy. And I guess it's really not. I mean, 2 Devils and then 2 defensive Devils and then goalies. So they do have 5 here. So, yeah, that's probably something we can unpack later for who we would put on a quarter century team.
Poor Islanders still haven't gotten over that Tavares going to Toronto thing.
And I think the thing we needed to think about with that is it's quarter century, so it's since 2000. So like I'm actually a little surprised Danico's on that, because he was at the tail end of his
3
career.
years after that. You're right.
Yeah, he was at the tail end of his career. But like Kovalchuk, like Parise, like what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
fuck you, fan. I don't like you.
And I got to say, Meadowlander's 100% right about that. You look at Neil Broughton, right? We got the guys that it wasn't about the best players; it was the ones needed to complete the puzzle.
That's always the perfect example to go to. Yep.
Yeah, Broughton, Friesen. There are tons of guys, man.
And on a positive note, we have football this week. At the end of the week, we actually have a football game.
Crazy.
The Chargers and the Lions in the Hall of Fame game of nobody will care about, but it's going to happen. So I'm very excited.
I saw your boy JJ McCarthy was throwing pick sixes left and right in practice.
Are you on crack?
Left and right.
JJ McCarthy
can't read defenses. Can't even read his own defense when he knows what's fucking coming.
I love that. I love that. This is a narrative, and this is another thing. Like Colin Cowherd came out of nowhere. He's been shooting strays to JJ McCarthy for like 4 months now, and I can't figure it out. And I realized the reason. I did a little research. So Cowherd's a huge USC guy, and he is a huge gay for Sam Darnold. So when Darnold left, like he took that as a personal affront that the Vikings let his boyfriend go to Seattle instead of re-signing him. So he's been shooting these fucking strays at JJ, called him a C quarterback, said he has no wow factor. That I'm like, every single person that has been following this team in training camp now, these are the Minnesota reporters. JJ has looked great this postseason. This training camp has looked
except
great.
for all the pick sixes.
He hasn't thrown 1 pick six. What are you talking about?
I am ready for football season.
What are you talking about?
Thrown 1 pick.
He threw in training. He went 14 for 14 with all pick sixes in his last practice.
Okay. Now our backup quarterback situation. If you are seeing a quarterback throwing pick sixes in practice, it's probably Sam Howell because he's been throwing a lot of them. Tony and I were talking about that. But
big tall white. There's another big tall white guy.
The Vikings are going to be a very good team this year.
I did, and for our Giants fans, I did see Jackson Dart throw a couple of pick sixes in practice too, which is fun.
Let's just summarize Steve's answer.
Here comes the Eagles fan.
How he became a Devils fan, because it's kind of a cool little thing of chance here. Basically, he was just kind of liking hockey. He came to the New York area. The Rangers were not playing, so he went to a Devils game instead. So we were this close to having another Ranger fan. So look how life worked for him.
That is awesome, dude. I love
that's awesome.
Chris, I just want to say I've had a couple of these. I don't know. I think collector of records, but a couple of these people have actually hopped onto the Tampa Morgue bandwagon now.
Really?
Yes. So
awesome.
I have to thank you. Yeah. So I've seen a couple of the new follows going on, but I have to say I think it was collector of records, if I'm getting the name right. Terry Butler, 3-hour interview we did this weekend will go up tomorrow, man. But I saw some of the guys from here popping in. I was like, shit.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
Good.
This is the
Well-deserved,
game.
too.
This is Steve Robinson's first game as a Devil. Blackhawks 5-3 Devils. Andy Green scored the first, and Zidlicki with the second and the third. And he got to see Brodeur, Yager, and Elias, which is pretty friggin' awesome for a first
There you
hockey game, man. That is great.
I liked it.
And then he stayed. That was 2014, and he's still here.
Yeah, still waiting. Still waiting. It'll come, Steve.
Oh,
It'll
man.
come.
Hard time to jump in, right?
Yeah, but promise his team was good once.
What are you guys doing for the rest of the day?
7 o'clock at night here. I'm bathing my kids and getting ready for school tomorrow.
I don't miss
Yeah,
those
that's it.
bath times. My son, man, when it was bath time, it was like me and my wife would just be like, all right, who's going to give up 2 hours of their life now? Because we had in the linen closet this huge bucket of fucking toys just loaded. And he would spend the first half hour going through all the toys he wanted to play with in the bathtub. And then so you're sitting outside of the tub, he's in it, you're playing for an hour before he would even let you start washing him down. And you'd have to go, I mean, dude, How to Train Your Dragon, professional wrestlers, all the fucking cars and all these different shit. And we would have to have like full on battles for an hour in the bathtub, and it was just
The water gets
I
colder and
don't
colder.
miss
I have
that.
daughters.
I miss it. I do miss
I have
it.
daughters 4 and 6, and there's like mermaids and buckets in there. It's the
Yep.
same deal. I have my own mermaid also, of course, for later on, but they have like, I mean, it's like, I mean, we have like My Little Ponies that go in there. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. They're all stripped down naked. Half of them are like missing an arm. Their clothes,
Yeah.
fucking mermaid clothes everywhere.
dude.
Yeah, I remember that
These
shit.
Barbie dolls look like they've been tortured on like Hostel or something.
Yeah, I
Like
know. Covered in their faces are covered in marker and crayon and shit. But, yeah.
This is for you,
Um,
Tone.
Yeah.
This one's for you.
Yeah, man. So we have, like I said, Terry Butler from Obituary this week, and next week is Nige Rocket from Onslaught. So we got.
So
like,
guys, if you're into
check it
that
out.
stuff,
Okay.
even if you're not, just check it out because Tony does a great job. It's called the Tampa Morgue. You can find it anywhere that you get your YouTube podcasts and stuff. So like, subscribe, follow him, do all
And
that.
my co-host is Ed Webb from
Mm.
Monstrosity, so I'm sure Collect Records will know who that is. But yeah, he's the vocalist of that band. He's my co-host for 101 episodes
cool.
now.
So Tony's giving
Very
kids
cool.
baths today. What are
Yeah,
you doing, Bobby?
Daddy night tonight.
Nice.
We got the next game with my kid and I on Sony PlayStation Baseball, where we got all the teams. We're divided up, and we just wherever they land, that's who we play. And I'm actually doing pretty well. I think he's up 4-3, so I'm not getting annihilated, considering I barely know how to work the controls. Although I am figuring out like how to throw the ball and maybe steal, so I'm bridging that gap in the competition. And then we've got the 3-on-3 hockey league tonight, which is great. It's going to roll right into another of his travel league practice tomorrow. We already started summer travel league practice, and it was great,
Wow.
dude, because
Jesus,
not
really?
every kid's around yet. He had 4 coaches on the ice the other night, 5 kids. I'm like,
That's
dude,
awesome.
You can't buy this kind of like go
Yeah.
take everything you can from this. It's been great. There's only it's only 9 skaters and a goalie on our team anyway.
Oh, because
really
3-on-3.
No. This is the 3-on-3 is a different league. Then his travel
Oh.
league, we only have 10 players for the whole
Oh,
season.
good.
Like when we go on these tournaments, like if one kid's out, like I'm like, well, you're gonna get ice time, and you're gonna, this is great. This is great. You have 2 years of tons of ice time. So.
And what about you, Tim? I mean, you have power,
I
and
gotta.
it's just the internet that's out.
It's just the internet. Yeah, I gotta walk down a driveway and see if there are any trees because like the power and internet come in from different. Like this is my driveway.
God damn, you cut that grass yourself, dude?
Yeah, it takes me about 5
Sure.
hours.
What,
Yeah, like
Nashville
all of
could call
that-
itself a
all of
couple
that.
fucking goats.
All of that.
So
When you can
guys,
and
get
then
this
there's-
cardio from your driveway, you got a lot going on there, dude.
Yeah, no, I mean that's what I do, man. I just walk down the driveway, like it's it's about a half a mile to the road. So,
and so
I
for
have
everybody listening, real quick, when the shit goes down, and you all know what I'm talking about, we are all meeting at Tim's farm.
Yeah.
So
I want to put in perspective
Yeah.
that Tim goes a half mile to the road. I can go a half mile in 2 different directions and hit a Wawa.
I can go half mile in either direction and hit 3 Wawas.
So
Yeah.
I have a concentration. I actually know this is not a joke either. About a quarter of a mile, there's the old Fort 9, which was the old concentration camps back here when we were occupied in Lithuania. It's like you could
That's
actually
terrible.
see. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
we have all that history shit around here, so that's what I can see from.
We have alligator Auschwitz now down in Florida, so that's
Oh.
good.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Welcome to New America.
I actually have two. Oh God, I don't know if I'm going to play in both. I have two fucking beer league games today because I'm in two different leagues. So like, one's at 6 and one's at 10, which means I have to like either sit there in my fucking gear for like an hour or take it off and then put it back on, which I'm not sure. That may actually be worse. Or I may just come home and drink like 10 beers and go to sleep.
I would
Did you get
say
those
play the
beer league
6
guys,
o'clock
Tim?
game and then go get drunk.
Did you get those guys in the
Yeah.
league who
Yeah, I
like
might
just
do
take the
that.
cheap shots still, even though it's a beer league and stuff? And I remember in Florida. we
Yeah,
had that.
there are a couple teams. Ironically, there's one team called Head Trauma that is very dirty.
What's the name of
Yeah,
your
I would
team?
leave the gear on, dude. It'd be like Chris. Remember, like if we're out there, like in our full suits, you take it off. Like, I'm gonna go back in. You try to put on that wetsuit. Fuck that.
Can't do it. Yep. You need like fucking
We,
shoehorn and cornstarch.
Yep.
Yep.
We're called the couch potatoes.
Okay, that's a good one. What was our hockey? We were Chico's Bail Bonds. I remember that. We took it from the Bad News Bears. We were Chico's Bail
Great name.
Bonds on one of our stick hockey leagues. But I unfortunately I have to go to my mother-in-law's celebration of life today. So that's
Yeah,
that's gonna
sorry
be a
about that,
bit of
buddy.
emotion. Yeah, it sucks, but we get to see a lot of the family and stuff. So I mean, she passed like a month or so ago. So I like these. Instead of just a wake and the funeral, you wait a month or so. Everybody gets together. Everybody's a little bit more.
It is a little easier.
Yeah, and
emotionally.
you can make it a little bit more of a celebration as opposed to just a fucking dire downer day. So
Yeah, I'm a mess with death, dude. Like it lasts with me for. I'm the guy still crying when everybody's laughing at these wakes and stuff. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just not over it yet, dude. It's been like a few days,
Right.
But yeah, it does make it easier. I've done a celebration of life, recently, and it doesn't make it easier.
No, but it is, but it does actually. It does make it a little bit easier because, like you said, it's not the immediate effects and immediate emotions and everything. So
grieve a little bit. Do all
yeah.
that possible thing, yeah.
So I'll go do that, and then tomorrow I'm off. I might actually go see Superman, and then I'm going to go online and I'm going to blast it, and I'm going to say that Scott James Gunn should not make a political message. And what's this bullshit with his Superman's got a dog? I saw somebody freaking out about that. Like, what is
first
it?
of all, he doesn't have a dog.
Crypto, stupid. It's fucking. He's
not his dog.
That's Superboy's dog. It's always been
Supergirls.
Supergirls in the movie. In the comics, it's Superboy.
How the hell did I not know there was a new Superman movie? I had no idea.
You're in Lithuania, dude. I don't know.
You're getting episodes of Seinfeld like they're new there. So you'll get it in about 7 years.
All in the family.
You just went to a Guns N' Roses concert.
Yeah,
right.
I was at the Guns N' Roses concert. Yeah, I got shit for that. Yeah,
it kind of shows
1987 here in Lithuania.
Exactly.
went and saw. Yeah, I mean,
That's great. All right, but we're going to wrap this thing up. If you stuck around with us today, guys, thank you so much. We know it was early, and we do appreciate you guys chilling with us. And wherever you're listening, and like a 5-star review, a positive comment. And if you're watching on the YouTube channel, please hit subscribe, hit like, hit the alert bell. It does help the little podcast that could. Of course, if anything happens before our next show, we will come on with an emergency episode to talk about that. And we will be back to 3 episodes a week once the season starts. But right now, it's just really hard to cobble together anything fun to talk about because nothing's fucking happening. But we will do our best. So for Tony, Tim, and Bobby, I'm Chris. We're the Uncle Puckers. See you when we see you guys.
Peace.
Suck a dick, Ballot.
It's over, Johnny. It's over!